Hello everyone, happy Sunday, and I'm back with another video today. So a common complaint that I hear is you have last minute cancellations, especially that's a bummer, especially if you're a consultant or a lawyer and you charge by the hour, and you might just have been able to give that slot to another client or another coachee if you're a coach, but then you had a last minute cancellation, and it's a bummer. And you may want to charge your client for the cancellation, but it's not such a nice thing to do. So how do we overcome this? What is the solution? So you could send them a reminder, because sometimes these meetings are scheduled 10, 15 days ahead, and things, life gets in the way, and someone's fallen sick, or it's something's happened and your client or your coachee is not able to attend the session. And they've forgotten that that session was even scheduled, and forgotten to inform you that they won't be able to make it. So one of the ways to overcome this is to send them a reminder 24 hours or one day before the actual meeting. And this feature is available in applications such as Bookings or Calendly. You could actually turn on reminders, and the reminders would be automatically sent. However, what if you wanted this functionality also for your non-Calendly or non-bookings meetings, just for your regular Microsoft Teams meetings? Can we do that? Yes, we could do that using a Power Automate function, a Power Automate trigger, Outlook trigger, which is called when an upcoming event is coming soon. So we could use that trigger to actually send those meetings. But what if you also have Calendly meetings? Then we could use some conditional use cases to try and only send it when the subject line contains a certain word. So you could use conditional rules to actually send those reminders. So there's also a small limitation with this trigger, which I will discuss, and I'll show you how to overcome that as well. So without much further ado, let's get started. So I am going to go ahead and now go into office.com and launch Power Automate from here. And this is my Power Automate. Then you would click on create to get started. Now, in the interest of time, I've already created the flows. So this is our first iteration, this is our improved second iteration, and this is our final iteration. So let me open the very first, very basic reminder, which probably is enough for most people. So we use this trigger called when an upcoming event is starting soon. And you click on show advanced options, there is something that says look ahead time. And if you hover over it, it says time in minutes to look ahead for upcoming events. So what this does is how far ahead do you want to send the reminder? So in minutes. So if I want it to be sent 24 hours before the meeting, then 24 into 60 minutes is 1,440 minutes before the meeting. I want this reminder to be sent. Now, keep in mind this look ahead time is, it should be 24 hours or less when this event reminder or this trigger is sent. So if I actually schedule a meeting for 2 hours, it's still less than 24 hours. It still satisfies the look ahead time, and the flow will still be triggered. Now, then I use a send an email action by clicking on plus and send an email. And in the to field, I can just click on it and click add dynamic content, and I can select required attendees and optional attendees in the to field. And in the subject, I can type in something like upcoming meeting reminder, and I can insert the meeting subject line coming up in 24 hours. And I can have, the body of the email edited in here. Now, one of the things to note here is in calendar ID, I can choose my calendar or a colleague's calendar. So if you have a personal assistant, then the personal assistant can set up this flow and actually choose your calendar, but send the email from the personal assistant's email, and they can even sign saying they are your personal assistant in the actual meeting subject. But if you want to set it up for yourself, then you would choose calendar from the drop down on this function. So, that's all there is to it. We are all good here. Now, the next iteration to this is where you already have some bookings and Calendly set up, bookings or Calendly set up, and you don't want meeting reminders to be going from two different sources. So you want to sort of exclude those, Calendly and Calendly or Microsoft Bookings meetings from sending those meeting reminders. That's where you could add a conditional rule here. And I will show an example of such a rule. Let's say my Outlook meetings for which I want the reminder sent are going to use a keyword that is not in the subject of my Calendly or bookings meetings. So I'm going to include a keyword called with, and I'm avoiding this keyword in my Calendly or bookings meetings and adding a condition control here. And then only if that condition is met, I am sending that email notification. So that's our improvised flow here. Now, the next step to this is say my email note reminder says tomorrow, but as we discussed earlier, the look ahead function is going to look for anything which is 24 hours or less. So it's also going to look at things that are, that have just been scheduled, and it would send an email saying upcoming meeting reminder coming up in 24 hours, and it will say tomorrow, which is not what we are trying to achieve here. So, if we say, all our meetings are scheduled at least 24 hours in advance, we will not have last minute meetings, then this flow is good enough for you. Or, even if they get an extra reminder and it has bad wording, it's okay, then this is fine. But then if you want to like make it perfect, then we have to do something else. That's where I have a further enhanced iteration of this flow. So what we are going to do is, add another condition to this where we are going to only send this if the look ahead time is more, than say 1400 minutes. So in the condition I've said, I've added a condition to say that, only if it's more than 1400 minutes. So it will check if it is 24 hours or less, but it has to be greater than 1400. So it has to be between 1400 to 1440. Otherwise, this condition will fail. But how do we calculate this number? Is because this is just a condition, this is not a value. So we have to actually calculate that using expressions. And we use a function called ticks. So I'll build this from scratch again so you can see it. So ticks is a very small duration of time. So to convert ticks into seconds, you have to divide them by 10 million. So for minutes, you actually have to divide them by 600 million. So I'm going to go ahead and first get the ticks value for the start time of the event. And now I have to actually subtract the current time from this. So I also have to get ticks of the current time, and the current time is returned by this function called UTC now. So now I have to subtract the the event start time. I have to subtract the current time from the event start time. So I'm going to add a subtract function and enclose it here. So now it is going to subtract the whole value. Now I have to divide it by 600 million to convert this into minutes. So now I'm going to enclose this into a division function and then going to divide that whole subtracted value uh, in 600 million. So I'm just going to copy 600 million and going into edit that value here. That's the demo for today. And if you have further questions or if you need to contact me, the details are on the screen. Please feel free to reach out, and you all have a lovely Sunday. Thanks for watching. Cheers.